Hey guys, what's going on? My name is SHADEDSHADOWMC and welcome back to another episode of Not For Broadcast, episode 15, I want to say.
Or a report from Grentham Downs. Even the weather will be more fucking relevant than this.
Jeremy.
I left you guys off on a little bit of a cliffhanger because you know what's going to happen now. So yeah, let's do this.
Christ, it's so fucking hot.
Please take your seats as quickly as you can.
I can't do this anymore, Jenny. I've had enough. That's it. This is just
10 seconds. Get over yourself, Jeremy.
Alright, you see this?
Sorry for yourself for 5.
Boom.
5.
See that?
4. 3.
See that? Epic.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, your host, Jeremy Donaldson. Later, we'll be talking to the captain of the territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over 9 months. Isn't that right, Miss Piercy?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Tell us, what brought all this on?
Well, it's all a bit of a blur, Jeremy, to be totally frank with you. So I was watching your show and I remember seeing the news about the election and it hasn't stopped since.
Fascinating stuff. Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological foreboil is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace, we're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to leave children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting. I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him. How do you cope with that, Mr. Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore pornography.
Is that?
Not according to my therapist.
Well, in that case, let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard. At work, they've asked me to stop answering the phones. It's really affected my confidence.
Well, I find it really fucking irritating.
Do people tend to believe your story?
Fuck no.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much support I've received.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me and I was hoping that the fame would win her back.
We've started a group for people with ailments deemed broadly comical by society. It's called Take Us Seriously.
That's right. And we bloody well mean it.
And who's joined so far?
A bunch of fucking losers.
It's just us so far.
And how much success have you had?
Well, we've seen some real positive changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been a runaway success.
Shit all. Not a single person come to our fun run and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Come down, Mr. Donaldson, that's absolute rubbish.
What it'd be like to have a pair of tits.
Could you? I'm sorry, it's very hot. What was I thinking?
That you're a team fuck puppet?
No.
Or a sellout cunt?
Apologies. Just a reminder that he can't help it. And hey, if this isn't live television, then what is it?
Fuckfest of propaganda masquerading as journalism.
Right, Frankie, Rose, tell us, how can the viewers get involved with your cause?
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capital Park next weekend. It's called the No Smiles 13 Miles.
No, it's called the No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show?
It was the team pulling Jeremy Donaldson's strings.
No, I didn't say. Wow, we may have to end that there, unfortunately. What a harmless bit of fun.
Steady on! This is exactly what I'm talking about. We demand respect.
Yes, well, later, I'll be talking to Professor Pumpkin, a ginger tabby with a world-class pair of penalty paws. Is that really necessary?
No, it isn't. Let go. Not you.
Unhand him at once!
Enough! That's
Whoa!
enough.
Jesus! Whoa! What the fucking shit?
What are you doing?
Who could have seen this coming?
Don't you dare! Don't you fucking dare cut to the ads before I tell you to. You in the broadcast centre, Bozeman's little scapegoat, you listen to me. You cut to the ads before I tell you to, and I will kill every single person in this studio.
All right, you got it, man. I'll listen.
I've been thinking about it for a long time. We all should be. Christ, it's so fucking hot in here. Do you remember when we used to do the real news? Before it was all lottery winners and bloody cat football? We are on the brink of a siege, the likes of which the world hasn't seen in hundreds of years. The enemy is at the gates, and I'm stuck here talking to these three fucking idiots.
I think my hiccups have stopped.
You three, get the fuck out of my studio. Go on, now, go! Before I change my mind. Jenny, lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Yes, Jeremy.
Now. Good. Yes. Now. Good. Right then. Yes. You in the broadcast centre. Alex, you listen to me. You pay attention.
I will, man.
I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to play in the commercial, but
Oh,
today's
I
going to be a
have.
little bit different.
More than you think.
Look to your right. Yes, really.
There's
Look
nothing
to your
there,
right. There is a
'cause I already
VHS
loaded
tape,
it up.
and I want you to load it into one of your machines, and when I say so, and not before, you play it. You've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. Now, all cameras.
I assume you won't be playing that tape. This station does not negotiate with terrorists. I hope I've made myself clear. You seem to know what to
Because
do.
every single thing that comes out of this studio is either one-sided or banal. We're going to show the other side for a bit of fucking balance. The good old days. Alex, play the fucking tape. I don't want to hurt any of you. If I see anything I don't like, I will not hesitate to start.
Oh, Alex, you're going to get me in trouble with that. Let's hope you made the right call.
We are.
Oh, I do.
Seen our symbols on your walls. You've heard them talk about us on the news. We are Disrupt. We are the Resistance. It's time you knew the truth. You know Advance are lying to you. You know the elderly are not a burden. You know the rich were not all evil. And you know the team membership card is an ID card. No
Yeah.
matter what they try to tell you. But why should you trust us? Another faceless organization. A shadowy figure with a distorted voice. You've seen it so many times in the movies. Well, this is not a movie.
Oh, Alan James.
My name is Alan James.
Alex Jones.
I used to try and shock people for a living, for entertainment. But now we live in a time where perhaps you need to be shocked. Perhaps we need to wake up. Advance are coming for our freedoms. They are coming for the fruits of our labours. They will take our wealth. They will euthanize our parents and smiling throughout. They will turn our children against us if we voice our concerns. But you don't have to accept it. A great many people already won't. You can resist. You can disrupt. Find us. Talk with us. Join us. It isn't hard.
I don't know.
We're everywhere.
This wasn't what I planned. I mean, some of it was. I had a speech, look. But this was unexpected.
So what now, Jeremy?
It was supposed to be your day off.
Please, don't do any more stupid things today.
How long, Jenny? How
You're
long?
already live.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Joining me, unexpectedly, for I very much imagine will be my last broadcast, are two new guests. Jenny works here at the National Nightly News and is someone I consider, well, a friend. And next to her is, what's your name?
Andy.
Andy's a policeman. Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion official.
Officer.
Sorry.
It's community cohesion officer, CCO.
And how's that feel, Andy? Being rebranded?
It's good. It's not about confrontation anymore. You know, the force had its fair share of problems. The team doesn't have as many.
But it still has some.
I couldn't say.
Couldn't or wouldn't?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Christ, you're fucking useless, aren't you? We'll come back to you later. Jenny?
I don't want to be on the news, Jeremy.
That's perfectly understandable. You'd want to do this. Jenny, why did you join the National Nightly News team?
I always wanted to work in news.
Yes, but why specifically this program? The National Nightly News.
It was the news everyone trusted.
Was?
Is. Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint?
Is there something else you'd rather discuss?
There's a great big Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring.
What do you mean?
I saw your face when that hood came down. You didn't know, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger.
Like I said, you didn't know.
No. I didn't know. The people I met were with, he wasn't there. I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry. But seriously. Alan. Fucking James. You're flushing your life down the toilet for... God, I love you, Jeremy, but...
He's a good speaker. He's popular in the country.
Not right.
Look, forget Alan James. There is still something deeply wrong. And you know it, Jenny. And you know it, Andy. And you at home, you know it too. Meanwhile, I'm interviewing a guest who stinks of shit. Patrick is paddling about in shit. And Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the fucking stuff. I mean, it's not sophisticated, Paul. What a metaphor. We are sleepwalking our way into oppression, and the news isn't saying anything. We're not saying anything.
Says who? Alan fucking James.
What are all those scientists working on at Grentham Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrave? Andy, your turn. Make yourself fucking useful. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
Oh, well, there's other forms of identification that we will accept.
For how long?
We're just here to help.
Then why do you need these? Not really help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help you. You read these cards with my notes on it, and you'll probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact?
What?
Do you want my help, Andy?
Yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it.
What?
Eat the fucking news, Andy, or I'll force it down your fucking throat.
Jeremy, stop.
Go on.
Really?
Eat it. Eat it, you fucking bully.
Jeremy, stop. We will kill you. Please, don't make me watch that.
Of course. You're right. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can go now. You too, Jenny. Fuck off over there. We're nearly done. All cameras on me. This new regime of ours is so seductive. I understand that. But before we all hand off our freedoms, should we ask to whom we're handing them over? Don't you want to know what's being done in your name? How many people were transitioned last month? A record high. Again, if you care. Shouldn't someone ask Advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supplies we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of, whose shit is this? There's a cat backstage dressed as a fucking goalie, for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves. Anyway, that's why I arranged for you to see that broadcast from the last break. I didn't know it was going to be him, but I guess that just about sums it up. We are all up Ship Creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ, it's also fucking pointless. I was going to quit tonight. Take a holiday. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Maybe try having a relationship. I hear they're nice. Never tried. I loved them. And now, well...
God, Jeremy,
Oh,
don't.
God.
I've tried my best to be honest with you, but this just isn't the news anymore. And I'm sorry. I've lost this fight.
Alex, think of the
I've
consequences.
let you down.
Please, we can't show
All
this.
of
Cut
you.
to the ads. Please, we can't show this.
My name's Jeremy
Now!
Donaldson.
Do it now!
If you can,
Do it now!
somehow. And I envy you if you can. Have a peaceful night.
Jeremy!
Oh!
Jeremy!
Holy fucking shit. God almighty damn, dude. Oh. Fucking hell. Jesus. Jeremy Donaldson, he just fucking... Well, I can't imagine that Advance is up, honestly. I still got a generous bonus. Hell yeah. Can afford coffee. Hell yeah. This is the one that I advanced in, I believe. Remington's Fist is... Yes, Advance is down. This is probably up a lot. Holy shit, dude. Alright, well, I'm going to be right back because I'm still on the end of the last episode. But yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, guys, I am back. Yeah, I was just, I tacked that onto the last episode's file. So it was like an hour and 40 minutes long, but I held on a cliffhanger towards the end of episode 3. I apologize for that. But anyway, let's actually get into episode 15. Yeah, 15. Can't afford coffee, yeah. You wake up partly in shock from what you saw on the news last night, what you had to edit on the news last night. When you come downstairs and find your family sat in the living room waiting for you, you take a seat on the sofa between Sam and Susie. Sam smiles, hesitating before starting. We were so worried about you last night. After Jeremy with the gun, Sam chokes down a sob. It was awful. On national television? How could he do that? And now, after a horrible pause, Sam finally asks, "Are you okay, honey? I can't believe he's gone." Sam looks to his kids, and then back to you. We saw that you chose to play that tape. That paused before continuing. I couldn't help but wonder why. Seemed like the right thing to do. I think you did the right thing. I mean, it was a crazy situation, but it was the right thing to play the tape, Charlie says quietly. You hadn't realized how much his support would mean to you. It's good to have your son on your side. For what it's worth, Alex, I think you were in an impossible situation and somehow managed to make the right call. Sam throws her arms around you. Only you were stuck in that studio having to make that choice. No one can criticize what you did, and I'm very proud of you. You've never been so grateful to have Sam support you. Yes. You take in a deep breath and gather your thoughts. It's a lot to take in. You're not sure you fully processed what happened last night, let alone what Charlie and Sam think about it all. You look to your daughter. We never agree on anything, but even I didn't think you'd do something this stupid. Susie throws the newspaper onto the coffee table, and Jeremy's face stares right up at you at the front page. Well done, you. She gets up and leaves the room, clapping slowly as she goes. You sigh and absent-mindedly turn on the TV. It's nice you've at least got some company. The TV is playing through some old Western show. It's not quite as distracting as you'd hoped. You were never going to please everyone. You still haven't told everyone about the envelope you found on your way home, waiting for you outside the studio, unmarked with a note that simply read, "We knew we could count on you and help your friends," filled with cash. It seems they were watching. A disruptive payout. Hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about. A rebel is born. Mwahaha. Sometimes splurging. A muffled thud wakes you and Sam in the middle of the night, and it takes you a few seconds to realize it came from the kitchen. You tentatively make your way downstairs, grabbing an umbrella from the front, near the front door for more comfort than an actual weapon. You slowly push open the kitchen door. A jolly brawly, like in We Happy Few. You lift the umbrella halfway above your head before you realize it's Charlie stumbling around in the dark. One of the kitchen chairs has been knocked over, and he's up to his elbow in a box of cereal when he looks and sees you standing in the doorway, your worry turning into a mixture of curiosity and anger. What the hell are you doing crashing around this time of night? Your son sheepishly slurs out that he's out with some friends and there were a few beers. As he sways on his feet, the strong smell of alcohol wafting from him tells you that there were more than a few. Do you think it's a good idea to be wasting your Saturday nights getting drunk with these mates of yours? He sighs and just stares at the floor. Answer me, young man. Look, you can tell me or I can get Sam and the three of us could talk about it. Answer me, young man. He stirs the hard tone and then looks up to you with a passionate stare. We're not wasting our nights. What we're doing is important. We're helping disrupt, make a difference. Charlie's expression is defiant. It's not like you're one to talk, because you've been doing plenty of meetings. But at least we're actually doing something, not just hiding behind a broadcast screen like a coward. He slams the cereal box under the table, in what you're sure was meant to be a grand gesture, but a puff of sugary frosted flakes undermines his effect. You're 15, go to bed, Charlie, sleep it off. What I do affects the entire nation. You're just getting drunk in a park. You're 15, go to bed. Charlie chuckles, shaking his head and not leaving without a word. Not the reaction you expected. You remember when you used to go to the park together and you pushed him on the swings. Now he's going there for rallies, God, you're old. Hopefully he doesn't wake Sam on his way to bed, for his sake. Yeah, no. You wake my wife, bro, you're gonna get fucking messed up. I'm the calm one of our two. You got off work earlier today, a rare enough occurrence to put a spring in your step. As you close the front door, you can hear an excited conversation bubbling from the kitchen. Clearly someone's popped around for a cup on Sam's Friday off. Hopefully there are still some biscuits left. As you enter the kitchen, you see Sam and Susie enthusiastically discussing something. Your daughter's still in her scrubs, having clearly some straight from work. I got the posting I was hoping for, she gushes. I'm doing my placement in the new transition center, really helping people like Grandma. Transition center? Why would you want to work at one of those horrible places? Because I want to help people. People that are suffering. I don't want anyone else to have to go through what Grandma did or what we did. Susie and Sam are sharing a knowing but pained smile. Hardly surprising you don't get that, though. Imagine. Going for the government. They was gonna blow you up. Explode you if you was out there and visiting the different countries. You would have been dead. You don't know how goddamn lucky you got it, Susie. Now I'm starting to sound like an old fucker. Try your hand at challenges to test your skills. Yeah, I know. I need to do that now. I've been slacking off with it. One of these weekend episodes, I'll go and look in the challenges. It's not really worth
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman
doing
here.
a whole
Hope
episode
all's
for
well
it.
with the family. Just a heads up, we're expecting those troublemakers at Disrupt to attempt to hack the channel during the broadcast. So
Oh, yeah, I
keep an eye
remember
on the
that.
interference screen and stay out of the orange. Let's keep the news on the air. It's important. Now more than ever.
Screaming at some pensioners while they try and fashion
You, Remington Swiss. I really don't know why I hate Remington Swiss so much, but whatever.
Julia's team have asked me to ask you to keep it light.
Well, what does that mean?
It means to do that thing you do where you turn politicians into humans. Just don't get drawn into talking about the war, or politics in general.
They do know this is the news, don't they?
At
You didn't hear this from me,
it's over
but-
to Patrick Bannon for all the day's sports board highlights, including all the tabletop action. from the
Apparently,
semi-finals
there's a crew at
Pro
Team
Amateur
HQ right now.
Sports Board, the
I think she's giving a
Sports
speech or something
Sports Board
tonight.
game.
They'll get it
At
on the late
9,
news.
it's our
Oh,
nightly
great. So they get the
news
brains and we get the
from
performing
late
monkey.
news, followed at 9:25
Yeah, right.
by our unsettling play,
Sometimes you sound
Don't
just
You
like
Went
him, you know.
Abroad, which tells the cautionary tale
How
of
are
one
you?
brave young lady's battles to survive the cruel administrations of our neighbours.
It
At
is what it is.
11:25, it's Incisors.
It is
Sad.
Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey
I'm
will be
missing
getting his
Tony now.
teeth into
Bye-bye,
feedback from
Jeremy. Megan Wolf
10
is
seconds,
zero.
everybody.
twist on the humble biscuit.
Rubber dog
And that
soft.
takes us after the weather and public information
Going in
film
5,
into our close down.
4,
But first
3.
tonight, it's time to join Megan and the team for the National Night.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. It's the 140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of Heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal blockade. Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert, unable to work out where or when the next strike will come.
Proud parents throughout the territory find themselves ever more impressed by the bravery and commitment of their incredible children and the job they're doing keeping supply lines open against all possible odds. Don't starve. Advance's food programme moved from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory. The rationing depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy has seen shelves restocked with increasing regularity. However, with a reported rise in mental and physical
you guys
health
could have
issues
hired
since the
me
imposition of the
to
blockade,
do some of the
critics have
Photoshop
questioned
work
whether
for
those
this.
smaller communities which are only
I
now
probably would have
starting
done a
to
better
receive
job.
help could have been better and quicker served. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community. With dwindling medical supplies leaving many of our most vulnerable facing chronic pain, it can come as no surprise that the transition centres have found themselves stretched to capacity. Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register for a teen membership card, a worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. While applications are still open for those who like to run fashionably late, they can expect a few tricky questions from Advance. Street Fighting Man. Spokesman Alan James today announced that Disrupt were responsible for the 2 explosions which rocked the capital's warehouse district last night. Julia Salisbury condemned the attack on what she described as vital medical supplies as pointless and barbaric. Mr. James commented, "Disrupt are strong and our numbers are growing. Advance
you got your
fear us
feathering
and they
work
should,
going on
because
here,
we're
buddy.
holding the
That
line
looks
for
awesome.
freedom." And finally, absent friends. Sad news today as the grave of former National Nightly News host Jeremy Donaldson is vandalised by radical Disrupt activists. The much-loved broadcaster suffered a very tragic public breakdown 10 weeks ago in an incident which ultimately
Jeremy
cost
Robert
him his
Donaldson.
life. Disrupt spokesman Alan James, whose organisation last week named Mr. Donaldson as the cause's first martyr, described the graffiti as a fitting tribute to a hero of the resistance. But first this evening, with the war about to enter its 21st punishing week and people hurting up and down the country, I'll be grilling unpredictable Prime Minister Peter Clement in an exclusive interview from his home in Lancashire. That's coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Look at him. He's still running. Oh, he didn't. He had to have that freaking alcohol even when he's on the damn elliptical. I forgot the name for it for a second there. I usually just call it the bike. I prefer the tread climber.
In part 2, I'm a little overexcited to announce I'll be interviewing the one and only Lil C. And later we've got a new feature that's sure to keep you coming back for more. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's speaking to us from his home in Lancashire. Good evening, Prime Minister. Have we caught you exercising?
Have we started? Yes, that's right, Miss Wolf. Just a few minor adjustments. I mean, nothing drastic. I haven't joined the gym or anything. As my old mum used to say, just because she won't take it up the shit, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try for a quick fiddle up the car park.
Language, Prime Minister. Language, Prime Minister.
What? Quick fiddle? What's wrong? Oh, shitter. It's shitter, isn't it? Yep, that's the one.
And can you tell us what brought about this new you?
Last night, freedom fighters working for Disrupt destroyed a farmer-side storage facility in the warehouse district of the capital. You'll no doubt hear it described as terrorism, but our intent was not to provoke fear, but thought. No one was killed in the operation, which destroyed both the warehouse and all its
Some of that Disrupt propaganda out. Try not to do that, Alex. We're watching you.
Drugs. Drugs used in transition centres. Drugs used for our elderly.
So I made a decision. And since that day, I have stopped smoking cigars. Except for Christmas. My birthday.
Disrupted.
Weddings.
Farmerside are owned
Steak
by
dinners.
Advance.
That's what I say. I can't as useless running backwards doesn't go anywhere. And apparently I'm going on a walking holiday this Christmas, and that should finish me off for bloody good.
Did you make the decision to holiday within the country this winter because of the blockade, Prime Minister?
Well, Mrs. C has never liked travelling at the best of times.
Freedom you're fighting for is the freedom to live without fear, in the way you choose. More and more of you are joining Disrupt every day, and with 1,000 tiny acts of resistance, we are stepping closer to the inevitable of advance. Today it is a warehouse. One day soon, it will be the whole system.
It doesn't seem very advanced to be going abroad when the rest of the country is grounded.
And yet, Julia Salisbury announced today that she'll be visiting Svenland today. That she'll be visiting Svenland. Is that really an example of team spirit? Is that really an example of team spirit?
Did you know about this, Gail? Did you know about this, Gail?
10 weeks ago, Jeremy Donaldson took control of the national nightly newsroom. He tried to warn us all about the now abandoned top-secret military lab at Grantham Downs. We may never know exactly what was being done there, but Jeremy Donaldson made us look. And this is just one of the reasons he is considered Disrupt's first martyr. And you know what? I think there's every chance he'd hate that. I only met him a few times in a professional context, and usually he exposed me for the grandstanding fool I was back then, but for some reason I always enjoyed it. I liked him. I liked his wit, his jagged edges, and most of all, I liked his total dedication to the truth. He died for that truth. Died as an individual, for freedom. And by adorning his resting place with our colours and our emblem, we will help to keep both him and his spirit of relentlessness alive. Rest well, Jeremy. You will not be forgotten.
You know what? You get more like him every day. You get more like him every day.
I will take that as a compliment. Prime Minister, later on this evening, your co-leader Julia Salisbury is going to give a national address from team headquarters. Can you give us a hint of what she's going to say?
Yes. Well, I imagine that there will be the usual. No, what I mean is.
You do know about this broadcast, don't you, Prime Minister?
I'm sure I did. But Julia and I have no secrets from each other. We don't memorize each other's bloody diaries either. As my old man used to say, if you wanted to get a job done quick, don't get bogged down in the pubes. What else you got?
Sorry?
Only cards, what else? A little piece of my life do you want to rustle through? Get out, refill my last. Get out, refill my last. Ah, come on. Come on.
Okay. What music do you listen to when you work out? What music do you listen to when you work out?
Well, Gail tells me that I work out to Little C, but I have absolutely no fucking idea who that is. And do you think the C stands for?
It stands for collaborative, Prime Minister. It stands for collaborative. How's rationing affecting you?
It's hard, but we get by. You just have to learn to get by on the basics. Take comfort in each other. I've got Mrs. C. and many a fine single month. I want full of it.
Except for a decent night's sleep. Of course.
Prime Minister, thank you for joining us. When we come back, it's time for the Culture Spot with Lil C and a world premiere performance of her new song. I genuinely can't wait to hear that.
I almost thought I forgot to load up the ads.
We'll be back. 1 minute back,
Okay.
everybody.
Alright, so we let those Disrupt ads through.
I don't think he knew about the statement. I don't think anyone's supposed to know. When you mentioned it, Bozeman's face turned a colour that I think you call embolism. No trouble. Bozeman? Nah, you're like the daughter you never had. I suppose the higher ups might buy it anyway.
Who's Lil C?
Justice, me.
Who's Lil C?
Are you winding me up?
What? I'm civilized. I read books.
I can't believe Bozeman isn't saying anything about the fact that I freaking let. Oh, there you go.
The updated mixing disc. You'll need the new buttons during the next sections. First, we'll need applause when the guest enters and before her song. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it when we get there.
Okay, cool. Let's see, the war broadcast. Oh, essential message from the government? Oh, well, fuck it. Who had hardship has to be boring. Live a little with Sophia. Yeah.
I've never heard of her before.
She's big, really big.
Really? Is she any good?
Nah, of course not. She talks shit. But kids go mad for her.
Blockade, some destinations may
Hang on, Colin, you've got kids.
the cruise
Yeah,
now
I've
mainly
got
takes place
about
around
7, I think.
What?
You think?
5,
You think?
4, 3.
Thanks for coming back. Later, we have an exciting new feature that we just know you're going to love, so stay tuned for that. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence as the delightful Susie May in All My Daughter's Children's Men, before taking the music industry this year with her debut album smashing the chart records at the age of just 20. Let's give it up and welcome Lil C!
No, Alex, the applause, that's completely unsuitable.
May I just say, you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'm doing this new regime and it really does work.
What's the regime?
My manager suggested it to me. It basically involves bathing in like cabbage water and then having the leaves sucked out of you while you sleep.
Wow, is that healthy?
Well, look at me, Meg. The leaves are my only nourishment.
Yep, they certainly are. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but I'm somewhat of a super fan, so I'm sorry if I get a bit starstruck.
Oh, bless you. I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh, that's good to know. So your first album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded. I mean, what was that like for you?
Bonkers, just so weird. I was in all the papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that like annoying little girl from that show to that like sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really, it was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4-mile run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking to me.
Oh, of course. I mean, the famed country singer, Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you'd been estranged.
There's nothing that strange about it, Megan. Okay, yes, you may believe that aliens told him to hate women, but there really isn't anything to prove that he's wrong.
So, this newfound explosion into your popularity, I mean, did that change your life?
Well, I had to start wearing like nice underwear, you know, for the paparazzi, but as my manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right? So what's the album about?
So I thought it was about like how pretty and great I am, but actually it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of beauty or something.
Your manager again?
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
Oh, do you think he'd be happy with you telling us all this?
Telling you all what? It really doesn't matter what I say here. I'll do my dancing and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very shortly because you're going to be performing your new single, aren't you?
Yeah, it's from my album Put It In My A Together and it's out tomorrow.
My friend let her 13-year-old son join the Go-Getters. He's occupied now. Busy, even. His room's never been tidier. But he keeps notebooks he won't let her read. And sometimes she catches him staring at her. And last week, she found him searching through her papers. When confronted, he always had a plausible answer, a good answer. But somehow it's too good. Like it's been prepared in advance.
Not my clothes.
Or possibly by them. We want to know what the news will no longer tell us. And when we find out, we will tell you. We will hack into your news broadcasts. We will defend your right to information. We will resist, and we will disrupt.
That's all I can hope for, man.
Better, but I don't know. I love doing autographs and having somebody dress me and tell me what to wear.
Did you always want to do music?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I'd sit in front of the radio, and as soon as my favourite girl group would come on, I'd press record on my cassette, but then my dad would come in and tell me to turn it off and to go back upstairs and start practising again.
Sorry, is your dad your manager?
Yeah, which can be tough, and sometimes when it gets really hard, he'll say, make Quagler proud and you might just survive childbirth.
Well, you know what, despite anything, you'll make me proud.
Oh, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're going to be singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it,
So it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I actually got sent the lyrics in the car on the way up here. You know what, it's actually all right. And don't worry, all my work is team approved.
All right then, well, you can go and get ready for that. We'll see you in a little bit. It was a very specific type of pleasure to chat to her, and I just can't wait to hear this. Oh, so here is Lucy with an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home. Take it away.
Is this deliberate, Alex? We do like our guests to come back, you know.
The queen of team, here to break in your blockades. Lil C.
Oh baby, can't you see I'm hungry? There's a place in me that's empty. I want that meat you're packing, only you can fill that crack in me. I'm under siege, so come and free me. Ain't no disruption here, boy, I got no agenda. Just want the team and me, no dirty foreign member. Don't stop no morning drill, there's holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream this loud when you do your country proud. I ain't no vicar's daughter, come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and throw me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So let them try and break our dream. We fight and love and die at two. So what if Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy? I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions. I've been this wild and free since Mama burdened me. She was only 53, but gave to save her family. There's no one judging me if I'm the one that's in your fantasy. Don't die alone, this breed is gonna bring you home. I ain't no vicar's daughter, come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So what if Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy and flip me over, grab my hair, rip off my clothes and dump them there? I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions.
Well, if that doesn't distract you from the world outside, I don't know what will. I'd like to thank Lil C for doing that. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll finally be revealing the new segment of our show that we just know you're going to love. We'll be back right after this.
And we're out.
All right. So we got that disrupt hack in there. So I think we're doing pretty good so far.
Say, thank you so much for letting me do this. It really means a lot to me, you know.
Yeah.
To be able to promote myself on such a mainstream platform like the news.
Well, don't worry about it. And you know what? good luck for the future. Take care of yourself. This industry can be crazy sometimes. Watch out for that father of yours, won't you?
Oh, no. I manage myself. It's just, you know, for the public to have that certain perspective on me. You know what it's like.
Oh, right.
And Michael? Michael?
What about Billy Bob Jeanshaw? Is he?
Oh, my dad. He's such a sweetheart. We both have the same agents, you know, like it just made sense. Both of us for our image together.
Wow.
And Michael, I want to see the revenue share for the clothing line and get me a G&T before my meeting with the lube guys. If they say for your pleasure, I'm going to start needing it.
Is he going to say
I hate to tell you this, but you're going to need all 4 sound effects buttons for this next section. Try and pick the most appropriate sound effect for the actors' lines. They can't hear your choices, so they'll be assuming you're helping things along and not making them look ridiculous. Mind you, after the last section, God help us all. Try and
No way.
Not anymore.
Fuck off,
I'm
Bozeman.
better than that now. I'll tell you what. Just keep adding flowers until it feels like 12. Got it?
Absolutely, right away. 10 seconds.
Because who cares?
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for joining us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new feature all night, and now the wait is finally over. I can reveal that every night on the show we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually, I've dropped the algebra. I go by Jeff DePlume now. How do you like that?
Oh yeah, very fancy. I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh.
It's shit.
And how does Angela feel about all this? Your wife. Your wife.
Oh, God, no. No, she's long gone. No, she's holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
And why did you write this? What was your inspiration?
Oh, well, I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand to write a pro-team sitcom. And I heard my father's voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay while the sun shines. You wring every penny you can get out of this.
Yeah, right.
So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking. Utter shite.
And without further ado, let's give it up for the notice board.
Damn it, I wasn't able to select it.
Good morning, Miss Craven.
Oh, morning, Ray.
Everything all right, Mrs. Craven? You look as worried as the vicar in closing time.
Oh, Ray, it's those young louts. They've vandalised my shop again.
No!
Yes! They've written all sorts of obscene language and crude pictures, and I know it's those damn youths.
I don't know. It could be the vicar at closing time.
So
I'm
stupid.
just worried they won't ever become productive members of the community. What if they never see the error of their ways and end up as social outcasts, such as shoplifters or bong rats?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, and I'm sure that in time they will fit into this society like this key into this lock. See? Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray.
And just like that, we can unlock their future.
Yes, yes. Wow! Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Oh, I think that one's addressed to me.
What? This one? Oh, so you're right. Here it is.
Oh, it's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda. She says she got an A on her maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her. She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers? What's up, losers?
Oh, no. It's Brad. He's the coolest guy in the village.
That's right. I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad. We don't want any of your ilk around here.
What? Rad dudes?
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice board with your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come to pin my resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What? Did you say tutoring?
That's right. Maths is very important. Would you mind, Ray? Would you mind, Ray?
Not at all.
So you, a young person, have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating on churches or huffing glue?
Hey, I haven't huffed glue for months.
Well, blow me down!
You know what? We misjudged you based on how young and cool you are and not on your actions.
No joy.
So it wasn't you who vandalised my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
No way. It can't have been me. I was too busy helping my friend Brenda with her maths homework.
Could you speak up there? I thought for a minute there that you said Brenda.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray. Oh, what the heck? Give us a hug.
Oh, whoa. Oh, the bombs! Oh, I forgot about the bombs. The bombs! No! Chris, my man, is dead. So anyway,
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board, but we are receiving some breaking news. I'm being told we're picking up reports from across the continent of what appear to be... Oh God, what appear to be nuclear explosions in 4 major cities.
Jesus.
Initial estimates put the death toll into...
I keep on. I even remember. I know what this happened, and this still makes me
I'm
fucking.
being told we're experiencing power fluctuations as a result. So apologies for any interruption to this broadcast for you at home. And apparently we can head over to team headquarters for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury any moment now. Yep. Yes. Let's go to that now.
Okay.
Good evening, citizens and leaders of the world.
Can I put one of these bad reactions to it?
Detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously in 4 major cities across the continent.
You guys have just
We have
Everyone
similar
already hates
devices
you, and you
in
just
58
shot
other
yourself in the
urban
foot.
centres. And will not hesitate to detonate. And will not hesitate.
We are hearing stories of power fluctuations and what could be minor earthquakes throughout the continent. Stand by. We've lost contact with our benefactors in Urkistan and Konoslava. All our equipment seems to be resetting. Can we get this confirmed? Can we get this verified? I need this verified. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you are receiving this, but if you are, then you have to know. You have to know what's being done right now to our neighbours. This is unprecedented. Our government has committed multiple acts of mass destruction in our name.
Jesus Christ, man. I've never even seen this
Nor
part
do I
of it.
care how you voted. You didn't vote for this. None of us did. This can't be. We are waiting further news and, oh, God. What if they respond?
We will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm trying to think of what Jeremy would say if he were here now. He was always sceptical of advance. Then I suppose he was always sceptical about everything. That's part of what made him so frustrating to work with. And so brilliant. I'm not going to lie, Jeremy, I really wish you were here now. You'd know what to say. You'd know how to bring everyone together. And I don't think you'd be angry.
Let's
I think you'd see that
let's see what happens if I
anger
play
was
this
the engine
again.
that brought us here. I think you'd want us to stop, to look around us at the people and things we're so very lucky to have, and to realise what a privilege it is just to be alive. I think you'd want us to spare a thought for those with loved ones who are abroad tonight. And I think you'd be worried about retaliation. You wouldn't show it. You'd remind us that this country and its people endure. You'd remind us that despite the way you hated how it sounds, we are a team. And I think you'd ask us to go to our loved ones and be with them tonight. But I don't have the words that you had, Jeremy. None of us do. My name's Megan Wolfe. Let's make tomorrow better.
And we're out.
A poor pilot.
So, he'd have loved it. Yeah, he would have done, you old bastard.
Still makes me sad to have this. Alright, so I did all the strupt stuff. I mean, I still got a bonus, even though I messed up the reactions on purpose. I'm well off. Shares go up in this, obviously, because I fucking advertised it. Yes! Okay, this is good. Even though they blew up the places they wanted to blow up, they still got bad. Alright, let's keep going until the next one. Tommy Harris cares way too much about getting laughs. I wonder. I wonder what. I don't wonder nothing. He wants to be a comedian. Stop fucking running me face. When they were right about skipping loading screens, you can make a damn time machine and you'll be able to do it. If only, man. Proportionate response. Oh, God. The rest of your shift passes in a blur with the same words going around in your head. Operatives working for advanced detonated nuclear explosives. Initial estimates put the death toll into the millions. Did this really just happen? You pull into the driveway with no memory of the journey home. The light in the front room is on. Clearly someone else is still awake. The door creaks open in the living room. You find Sam sitting on the sofa and the screen is off and they're clearly lost in thought. You take a seat beside them and put in a reassuring hand on their shoulder. They don't look at you, but they do reach up to take your hand in theirs. Now you're closer and you can see the tears streaming down Sam's face much more clearly. Chris, yes, I know. I'm so sorry, Sam. What the hell can we do? The bastards killed Chris and millions of others. All because of their fucking war, which we never asked for. Behind the tears you see a fire, raw fury you've never seen in Sam before. I hate him, Alex. I know you've been working against Advance and I'm glad. They're monsters! I want to help bring them down. We need to do more. Advance did what necessary. I'm glad we're prepared. Well, man, I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it justifies what we did. Anyone who tries just as bad as there are. I don't think it's that simple. The country is suffering. This war has to end. Nothing could justify. Relief spreads over Sam's face like a wave, and they collapse against you, clutching tightly. Clearly this was weighed heavily on them. You're not sure you've even processed it all fully yet, but at least you'll get through it together. At least I will. A final farewell. The last week has passed in a blur, a rush of things to do, but all immediately forgotten, your memory clouded by a dark fog. 9 days since this so-called liberation night and the beginning of Advance's new future. You weren't the first ones at the church today. You were staggered by the number of people who have come to mourn with you. Everyone here for the same reason, staring in the same pain, the same sense of loss. It's written all over their faces, much as it would be on yours. You step away from everyone else, needing space to gather your thoughts. The two siblings had always been close, and now Chris was just gone. You can only imagine what Sam was going through now. They've said very little since that evening, clearly still in shock. And some small piece of you can't help but wonder, are you partly to blame? Not that you could change any of that now. All you could do is be there for Sam, and when you walk over and squeeze their hand, they squeeze tightly back. There hadn't been a coffin to bury. Damn, bro. An academic exodus. It's seemingly ordinary morning, but as you get into work, you find a small crowd gathered in the back break room. When you go in to grab your first cup of tea of the day, you can't help but overhear some excited chatter. You didn't hear? Yeah, another one's gone missing. What's that bringing the total up to now? Oh, I should think over 100 at this point. They all won't have been reported or noticed yet. Sorry, what's going on? An excited young woman turns to you and begins to explain. Another professor went missing from Queensview University. With all the other disappearances over the last year, scientists, doctors, researchers. She pauses before lowering your voice to a whisper. It's clearly targeting the people that speak out against them. I even heard Advance are struggling to prevent further... A deep and familiar voice behind you interrupts. What exactly is going on here? A silence overtakes the room as you all turn in unison towards the doorway. Bozeman clears his voice before continuing. I've told you before, I don't want to hear about these so-called disappearances. Come on now, people. Advance have been very clear that they have nothing to worry about. Which means they're not our problem. And unless they start classing cappuccinos as an intellectual, I don't think anyone here has anything to worry about. Best get back to work. Bozeman holds up a hand to keep you as everyone else flies out the room. Oh, God. Look, I know you have a habit of doing what you want, but things are different now. Advance runs the show, and they've made their feelings clear, so now I'm doing the same. Chair 1's official position is that the government has things well in hand. Nothing more, nothing less. I trust you won't be hearing talk about this again. He gives you a curt nod before leaving. It seems that, for better or for worse, public ownership is now in full swing. Damn. They getting rid of Bozeman? Telling him to get the hell out of the boss's chair. This is my place now, a part to play. The note, while vague by necessity, was clear. Disrupt were doing something big tonight. You were simply going to be driving a few people from point A to point B, but apparently it was very important, and you were to not tell anyone. Why does it need to be done precisely at 10:17 in the evening? You're not sure. To be safe, you arrive just after 10 p.m. and wait. As the time approaches, you can't help but check your surroundings. It seems to be a farmhouse of some sort. An odd place for a pickup, but you're sure Disrupt have their reasons. 10:17 arrives. And then 10:18, and now it's 10:19. 10:21, 10:20, 10:21. The minutes tick by, aching slowly. Suddenly a movement catches your eye from a barn in front of you. 4 figures, dressed head to toe in black, run towards you. The only distinguishing feature, the orange fist emblazoned on their chests. You probably wouldn't have been able to see them in the dark, but at the moment that fires erupt from the barn and spread quickly in the fields beyond and beyond. Soon a lake of fire is all you can see. You're broken from your reverie as all the balaclavas remind you that you've yet to put yours on. Fortunately, you manage to pull it on just as the doors of your car are wrenched open and the 4 figures pile in. "Drive! Drive!" The man in the passenger seat hisses at you before, turning to admire the growing maelstrom of flame. You quickly pull the car around and speed away. Once the team regain their breath and the panting stops, the journey back to the capital continues in a silent tension. Disrupt were clear that during operations, identities were to be kept secret unless absolutely necessary. You drove off each of the nondescript figures at different locations, while each watching the car drive away before pulling off both balaclava and Disrupt uniform. At the final stop, your last passenger makes no move to leave. "This is where I was told to drop you." The final Disrupt member pauses for a moment before receiving their balaclava. For a moment, you sit there stunned. It's not just a face you recognize, but none that know better than ever. Sam. "Hey, Alex," they smile at you. "Seems you're not working late tonight." You can't help but smile back as you accelerate away. Do you think they'd let us keep the uniform? A fiery resistance. Arson, bro. A spark to light the flames. After an eventful night, you decide to let Sam sleep in when you wake up early in the morning. Still a little wired. With the house quiet, you decided to bring some breakfast into the living room and watch some TV while you eat. This is breaking news. Reports are coming from across the country that large swathes of farmland went up in flames last night as part of what authorities are calling a heinous and well-planned act of terrorism by the group known as Disrupt. You drop your spoon back in the porridge and turn up the volume. In addition to the food stores, which government sources have said will put a strain on universal menu centers countrywide, a number of CCO and civic buildings were targeted in last night's attack. According to Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, specific prisons and re-education and betterment facilities were raided, and a small selection of problematic and potentially dangerous individuals were forcefully extracted from lawful custody. You hold your breath, waiting to hear if anyone got hurt. Unfortunately, it appears that the CCOs were ill-prepared for an event like this, and Disrupt seems much more effective and well-organized in comparison. While most of the target locations were thankfully empty of people, given the lateness of the hour, the betterment centers were fully staffed when they came in under attack. 17 CCOs and 4 administrative staff lost their lives as a result of the brutal actions of Disrupt last night, with countless more injured, many seriously and rushed to the hospital. A few Disrupt members were captured during the conflicts, but the vast majority seem to have evaded capture so far. More on the story as it develops. You go to turn off the TV. You're interrupted by Charlie walking into the living room, who looks more tired than when he went to bed. "Anything interesting going on?" He gestures his TV. Mutely, you can leave the news on as they cycle through the story again. Charlie watches in the hostile silence. By the end of the broadcast, they're dubbing it the Night of Fire. "The Night of Fire, huh?" He nods. You watch together in silence, taking in the aftermath. Dang. "9:05, a point of no return." As you come home from work, you find a plain black envelope on the mat with a regular post. No stamps, no addresses. And on the back it's sealed securely with tape. How very cloak and dagger. The letter encloses in black paper and orange text through the customary fist feels notably absent. "Friends, the time is almost upon us, and when it is here, remember the fist of Disrupt, formed of 5 different fingers. The first 2, freedom to profit and the freedom for truth. The second 2, freedom to live and the freedom of anonymity. Each pair made of separate parts, but when counted together forming a whole first one and the other. And both pairs underlined by the 5th finger to give direction to each. The coordinates of our and this country's salvation. Clearly something's happening soon. Hopefully you'll be ready." Yeah, shit. It's getting crazy. Here we go, guys. Alright, that's going to have to be it for today. My name is LizFighter111. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to this video for more awesome content, and I'll see you guys later.